everybody knows the NCAA tournament's going to tip off later this week. The brackets are all set after all Sunday selections. It got us thinking about what are the top offseason moves so far in the National Football League, and we've narrowed them down to 8. So we have our Elite 8 bracketology that we're going to go over. Right. And I know you guys both like that.
Especially kickers.
No quarterbacks in the mix, but here are 1 through 8, and we're going to actually then have Jamie and Rod debate as we move the players along here, which player will provide the best value for their team. So we've decided Julius Peppers as the top offseason acquisition is going to the Bears.
Because of the money.
Well, but also the production as well.
Yeah, with the money.
And number 8, surprisingly, LaDainian Tomlinson. So he flying under the radar there. Rod, I want to know which offseason acquisition here is the better move.
I think it was Mr. Peppers, just for the fact I think Lovie Smith, Rod Marinelli, the defense coordinator in Chicago, I hope they think out of the box, because one thing we know in the NFC North is that quarterbacks are going to hold the ball a long time. He might get 20-some sacks this year alone in Chicago.
Yeah, and I'm tempted to say, LT, from this standpoint, touchdowns. Of all those numbers that you put up there, well, I couldn't talk to the same guy. I had to try something like So, all the numbers you put up, 12 touchdowns and 14 touchdowns with Thomas Jones, understands how to get in the end zone. That's a commodity that's been lost in the National Football League. This guy, one of the all-time top running backs as far as touchdowns concerned. That's it, Peppers.
Julius Peppers, moving on. So he wins his first competition. All right, 4 through 5. This is a good one. Antrell Roll, the Giants picking up the safety. Meanwhile, the Jets getting Antonio Cromartie in a trade. So this one's close. So, Rod, who do you like?
I like Roll just for the fact Cromartie, the one reason he was let go because of off-the-field issues, his character. Well, that character still goes to the different uniform he's going to have in New York. So I like Roll in this aspect because he's a playmaking safety. He can cover in the slot. Now you can stay in your base defenses more, and defensive coordinators like to find safeties that can cover in slot.
Character. That's the word you use. That's a great word because he's got a character of a coach who's going to put him in situations where he's going to be successful. Remember now, and go back to the Dion, Rod Woodson kind of analogy where you don't throw at the shutdown corner. What you do is you throw at the other guy. No one's going to throw at Revis. So now all of a sudden, guys are going to be throwing at Cromartie. And remember, quarterbacks will be under duress. Rex is going to blitz guys and do different things. So I'm taking Cromartie because I think there's going to be a lot of flutter balls that are thrown. And we know that kid has some of the best ball skills in the National Football League. So I think he's going to have a huge impact because the shutdown corner's on the one side. You got that young man right there who has the ability to take the ball to the house at any given time.
The reason I like this the best is because I own the tiebreaker. So
what do you got?
I think Cromartie had a brilliant year a couple years ago when he had 10 picks, but I'm going with Antrell Roll. I think Roll's going to help that Giant secondary.
Go with the Hall of Fame. He's going with the Hall of Fame.
He's going to have a better year. All right, so now 3 versus 6. That's a good one. Carlos Dansby, a big deal with the Dolphins, $22 million guaranteed. Meanwhile, Thomas Jones, cut by the Jets, but picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs. Right?
I like Thomas Jones. I know he has a lot left in his tank, but I'm going with Dansby. Just for the fact you get leadership in Miami on a defense that is up and coming. And the one thing they lacked, I believe, all year long was leadership from the Mike backer position. They get that. They're going to be a good, solid football team. He's going to lead this football team on the field and in the locker room.
And it's a tough call for me, too, because I think Thomas Jones is a heck of a football player. In 11 years, still to be able to run the ball the way he's run the ball. And no, he didn't have the long speed, but yet and still, this guy is a good football player. But I agree with you. I think Dansby, what he's going to be able to do, what he brings to the field, brings to this team off the field as far as just leadership, a solid character, a guy who understands football. So I'm going to stay with Dansby.
All right. So let's take Carlos Dansby's mug and put it right here. So we are inching our way down here as we move along. All right, 2 versus 7. I'll let you guys start off. Anquan Bolden, who do you like?
I think Chester Taylor he's going to split time in Chicago with Matt Forte. Bolden, I think this is a great pickup for the Ravens. They've been looking for a receiver, and I think the best thing for him is that Mason came back. So I think their pickup is going to give them a mid-range guy who's going to catch a lot of balls. We know one thing he can do. Once he catches the football, he can take it the distance. That's one thing that the Ravens offense has missed from the receiving corps. They never had a receiver that can catch it. Yak yards after contact, get down the field. He can do that.
And I agree with you. I think the key with Bolton is certainly, like I said, you just get the ball in his hands. He understands how to find holes. That's the one thing that I think is a lost art. Wes Welker does it quite well, but there are not a lot of receivers who really understand how to work that middle of the field and get open. He doesn't have the long blazing speed, but as you say, Rod, on that second level, this guy is a dangerous player. And then when he gets it, he has that running back ability with the football.
All right, so I think you guys both like Chester Taylor, but you just think Anquan Bolden's going to have a bigger impact.
It's got to.
With the Baltimore Ravens. All right, so here we are. Our final four. Julius Peppers is going to go ahead up with Antrell Roll, and then Anquan Bolden and Carlos Dansby are going to lock helmets. The final four of our bracketology for offseason moves for NFL teams. That's going to happen and come your way on Tuesday. We're going to reveal the winners.